two people you've worked with in the music industry who you think are huge successes. Who are these people, and why are they successful from a business standpoint? So through that
So,
lens, from a business lens,
mhm.
who stands out the most?
Gosh, my story always starts and ends with Puffy. His government name is Sean Combs. He's had a million Sean P. Diddy Combs, Puff Daddy, but Puff to me. Early in my career, I got the opportunity to intern at Arista Records as Arista Records was signing his first label venture, Bad Boy Records. And that allowed me to work with the Notorious Big, the greatest rapper of all time. It allowed me to work with so many other artists beyond that. But I mean, Puff, I remember working for Puff, I wasn't making a dime. But I was an intern, and I just you pay your dues. I was working so hard on my own before I was paired up with him in his operation that I was given an office as an intern, because I would come in earlier than everybody else and leave later than everybody else. So I was given an office with a phone. It was like in a closet basically, but I had a door, I had my own file, whatever, and I had my own number. And I remember he would call at like 8 in.the morning, which is like an ungodly hour in the music business. We had no records yet. He would call and I'd pick up and he'd be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm at my desk." I'm like, "Why? What's up?" He's like, "Just want to make sure, because one day I'm gonna call you and I'm gonna need you." He would just call like crack of dawn and expect you to be there ready to do whatever it is that he needed done.
Yep.
And even to this day, I do not believe that there's anybody on his staff, as much as he cracked the whip on us, I don't believe there's anybody on his staff that works harder than him. And that was the hardest part to get around, because sometimes you'd be like, "This is insane. Like, what are you asking me to do?" Right. But at one point, there's never one point where you can ask yourself, okay, if the tables were turned and somebody was asking him to do fill in the blank, do you doubt that he would be able to get this done? And that relentless, his whole slogan, "Can't stop, won't stop." His relentless thing was, I don't even know how to stop. It was always, something. I tell this story, and I'm trying to think if I can tell it quickly. So at one point, I'd gone through a whole bunch of moves in my career and found myself back at Arista Records and working with him, right? And he was putting out a record of his own. And so he is now the artist, but he's also the CEO. So it's a tricky space, right? And I set up a show for him in Philadelphia. Philadelphia was a 2.5 hour drive from the DC area where my office was at the time. And he was in New York City. And yes, he was still the mogul. He was still, gazillionaire and all that jazz. But in this instance, he was an artist. And as an artist, he was supposed to be coming to sound check for this show. And it was a bill that had a whole bunch of other artists. So and the people putting on the show were like, "Hey, we don't care who it is. You've got to be here at XYZ time for sound check." So I'm on my way, and it's getting close to the time for sound check. And I'm being asked by the people, "Hey, so where's Puff?" And I was just like, "Yeah, he's on his way. Let me check," because we were meeting each other. I would pick the artist up from the airport, but he missed the flight. And then he was just like, "Oh, I'm just gonna, I'll get there. Don't worry about it." I'm like, "Don't worry about it." So then I called to check in, because it's like, I'm trying to push him as an artist, but again, he's still sort of like the boss. So I'm like, "Hey man, where are you?" And he's just very flippant. "Man, yeah, I missed the flight, But look, do this. Just charter a chopper for me, and I'll just take a chopper from here, from the office to the spot in Philly, to the helipad in Philly." And I was like, charter a chopper? I'd done a lot of things in my day. I had never, ever even contemplated what he was asking me to do. He says, "Yeah, so just charter a chopper." I'm in my car driving to the venue, expecting him to be on his way. He says, "Yeah, just charter a chopper." And I'm like, "A chopper? Where am I supposed to find a chopper?" He goes, "It's Bad Boy, baby. Click."
I love it.
Now, if I don't get this done, I run the risk of violating every bit of credence I have with the people putting on the show, the radio station that's involved. And I have bosses at Arista that are like, "This is Puff, don't F it up."
Yeah.
Like, they don't want to hear at Arista, there was no, "Oh, we're coddling you. We pay you top dollar because you're supposed to be the best. Just get it done." I'm trying to figure out how to charter a helicopter with no internet, mind you. This is like 2000. So it wasn't like you just had a phone. I'm just on an analog phone on the highway. Suffice it to say, it's a whole long, great story, but I get it done.
Yeah.
I get it done. I get to the helipad that I didn't even know existed. The chopper lands. Puff hops off the chopper. I'm disheveled, sweating. My clothes are all, because I just been in the car stressing the whole time. And he gets off the chopper and I'm like, yo, we did it. He's like, yeah. He just gave me a hand slap and just, where to next?
Yep.
My whole life, job, everything was on the line. I got the impossible done. And for him, it was just a day in the life. He just hopped off the chopper, got in the ground transportation and went to sound check. And in that moment, I realized that's why this guy is great, because he just doesn't understand the meaning of the word no in a good sense. From a business perspective, impossible is the beginning, of the process.